We've made quite a progress, and Jenny is infinitely thankful. Now she realized that she can add to her daily savings a few more dollars on certain days. In fact, she can double the amount on the first day and triple it on the 10th and the 20th. She, however, decided not to risk buying too many pastries without first making sure that her customers like them. She will not be contributing this additional amount to her investment. She just wants to see how those extra amounts affect her final result. Here we go again, more information to improve our program further. Let's see, now we have 3 days that have different things happening. More savings and different amounts of savings. How do we implement those changes on some days and not the others? Specifically, on day 1, we need to add $10 extra to double the amount, and $20 extra on the day 10 and 20 to triple the amount. The programming trick for this is called conditions. This is another type of control flow in Swift. In particular, it's called if-else statement, where we can say, if this is happening, do this. Otherwise, do something else. So, what is that this happening? It's a certain condition that needs to be met. In our example, if we are on a day 1, on a day 10th or 20th. To structure our code properly for that, we need to learn one new data type. We already know integer, float, double, string, range, and next we're going to learn Boolean. Boolean is the simplest data type. It can only hold 2 values, true or false, which is exactly what we need to tell whether our condition is met. And to tell, we need to use Boolean operators. There are 2 groups, comparison operators and logical operators. There are 6 comparison operators, equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, more than or equal to, and 3 logical ones, logical and, logical or, and logical not. The result of logical and is true only when all components in the expression are true. The result of logical or is true when at least one of the components is true. And logical not simply inverts the original component. Examples of using comparison operators would be 2 equals 2 is true, 0 is greater than 10, false. And some logical ones. True and true is true. True and false is false. True or false is true. Not true is false. Not false is true. My head is spinning. How are you feeling? Let's go back to our happening part of if-else statement and rephrase it properly. If our conditional expression is true, execute this block of code. Else, execute another block of code. Almost done. Why do we need to cover not 1, but 2 or more conditional cases? Simple. We just chain the statements. If condition 1 is true, execute first block of code. Else, if condition 2 is true, execute second block of code. Else, execute something else. By the way, we don't have to use else clause at all. We can just use if 1 or as many times as we need to. We've got all we need. Let's code.
Here's our latest calculation. Now we need to incorporate new information provided by Jenny, which is on the first day, she wants to add extra $10 amount, which is double the daily amount. And on the 10th and the 20th day, she needs to add extra $20, triple the daily amount. So to distinguish the days within that trial period, it would be nice to have something like this, which reads, if it's day 1, add a little bit more. if it's day 10th and 20th, add even more. Otherwise, just add regular amount. Before we can do this, we need to know how to use a new data type, Boolean. To declare a Boolean variable, we use keyword bool. Or we can simply assign one of the two possible values to it. A equals true or B equals false. These are the only two values that a Boolean variable can accept. And of course, we have Boolean operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. Let's start with comparison operators. So those are equality 1. Is 2 equal 2? The result is true. 2 equals 3. The result is false. 4 not equal 4. The result is false. 4 not equal 5. The result is true. And then some more. We can observe the results for each on our output panel. We can also assign a Boolean result to a variable and print it. And just like numbers, we can compare variables. Now let's move on to logical operators. We'll start with AND. So true and true is true. True and false is false. And false is also false. As we know, for the logical operator AND, the result is true only when all the elements are true. As we can clearly see here, only when we say true and true, it results into true. Next comes OR. So true or true is true. True or false is true. And false or false is false. For logical operator OR, the result is true when at least one of the elements is true. And we can clearly see only false or false results into false. And the last one is logical NOT, which is easy. Not true is false, and not false is true. We can also compare more than one element by listing them in sequence. Logical operators also have execution priorities. First comes NOT, then AND, and the last one is OR, for example. And to alter the order, we just use brackets. Now we know enough to learn the if-else statement. It looks like this. And the logical expression here is something that results into true or false. For example, we can say if true, print unexecuted. Or if false, ignored. And then we can merge the first statement and the second one because they are the opposites from each other. And instead of another if, we can replace it with simply else. So it says if true or if something is true, print this. Otherwise, print that. Pause the video for now and do this exercise. Alright, here's my result. You probably already spotted what's missing here. It's a condition when 2 years are the same. When we need to address multiple conditions, we can simply chain if-else statements, and instead of finishing it with else, we can insert more ifs, which means we can chain as many if-else conditions as we need to. For example, if we're greeting friends, We can list as many friends as we want. And we can add some more. We can have John, for example. This sounds like exactly what we need to solve our problem for Smart Bean project. Now pause this video and try to accomplish it on your own. Welcome back. Let's take a look at my results. We can replace our old code here. Let's see what we got here. First of all, we needed to reestablish a variable in our for in loop because we need to address each day of the trial period. Next, we added if-else statement. First, we're checking if it's the first day and increase the investment 2 times. Next, we're checking if it's the 10th or the 20th day and multiply the investment by 3. Otherwise, on all other days of the trial period, we use a normal daily investment. As we can observe in the console, our savings increased, and now the value is $710.